Hey, it's time for another episode of the Kita Anime Podcast. In this episode, we learn about what Deedo likes about older sisters. I can't read names, even if they're written in front of me. I'm surprised I said KT right. And we learn about some service, fan service. Oh yeah, we talk about some anime too. And something just seems off about this episode. All that and more coming up. This is the Kita Anime Podcast for December 6th, 2011. Hey everybody, welcome to the Kita Anime Podcast with Deedo and Ktdata. How you doing today, Deedo?
Lovely, actually.
Yeah, so for all of you guys watching live, you might be going, wait a minute, isn't this Wednesday? And you'd be right, it is Wednesday. And the reason why it's Wednesday is because I had to work.
Pizza sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just don't want to do it anymore on Tuesday, so we decided Wednesday. No,
Yeah.
actually.
Something like that, you know. But it's because I had a work party yesterday, and because of the work party, we were doing karaoke, and if you guys know, I do that on the side. And then when I got home, I sounded like this. Dino, let's do the show. Not to mention I was up since 5 in the morning packing my car for all that stuff. And it was all...
Excuses.
I know, I'm waiting next week. The dog ate the podcasting equipment, Deedo. But I don't have a dog. But it still ate
I
it.
was like, how did you let the roadie in your house?
I don't know. We don't pay him, so I don't know how he gets anywhere, to be honest.
That's okay.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. I have my voice. Now I can be all radio announcer like. But so for anybody who hasn't seen this, and we're on episode 4. Seriously, you haven't seen this, and you're listening to episode 4. What we do
I'm sorry.
is we take 3 animes, 2 of us, and then we watch them, and then we dissect them, and we tell you all the spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, you might not like our show. But you should watch anyways. We're sort of funny. No, not really. What do you think?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Try.
It is.
Be gentle with us, please.
I don't know. But you know what's awesome though? I have to say, Deedo, I love that shirt that you're wearing.
Yes.
That is an awesome
So,
shirt.
yeah, just going to take a quick second here, and I just got this shirt from Woot.com like about a week ago. So
Take it off.
Yeah, because KT kind of ordered 2 of them, and he's been holding on to it for a while. So I finally got it from him. And also, I figured this would be a good time, too, because during the Black Friday sales on Woot, they had a special for some tech gadgets. And one of them was this little fun dude had, the Spynet recording night vision goggles. So I ended up buying this for like $30. And for other people who are not watching this, you should watch this because it's quite literally a little toy of a night vision goggles. Really, really fun, really, really awesome, and really does work. Limited, but it works.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I actually went and I saw it on ThinkGeek. I'm like, oh, dude, these are the glasses Deedo got. And you know how much they were?
How much?
$70.
$70. I got $70 toy for for $30. That's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, and according to DMAX, I said the wrong date. Oh, well. It's December 7th, guys. I don't know why I said December. Oh, yeah. Because I'm an idiot and I wrote that in the... okay. Yay! One for me. I'm special.
Well, yeah, I didn't catch it either, so thank you, T-Max. Thank you, because we wouldn't have got found it either way.
Oh,
We've been
wow.
good the whole day calling it the 6th.
I know, and then, dude, I probably would have labeled that too on the episode. It's good to know. Anyways.
We time travel.
Yeah, we're time lords. Anyways. So I'm guessing you're gonna put a review someday on, but I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see in the dark, but guess what? I can see in the light. where there's no dark. What now, huh? And if you guys are wondering, these are spy glasses, so there's a video camera in there. So if you see me walking around with this on, don't take your clothes off, or I'm putting it on YouTube.
I'm actually gonna do something like this with these. Like, I'm gonna probably take those to one of my night games, my airsoft, and see if they actually
See
do
if you can
well.
actually hit anybody.
No, the thing is too. There's one big drawback. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about, like with night vision, is you have no depth perception whatsoever.
If you
And if I
run
have these
into
on
a
for a long period of
tree,
time,
I
my
want to
head
know.
hurts.
I want to know if you run into a tree. I want to know.
No, I'm gonna take that to the grave with me.
Speaking of trees, let's jump into our first show.
So everything that makes me whole 今君に捧げよう I'm your
This section is brought to you by. I can't hear a thing.
I can take this seriously right now. It's brought to you by fan service, because it wouldn't be anime without it.
If you guys are wondering what's going on, is because I turned that way too loud for my headphones. I can't hear a thing right now.
It made me laugh about it too, because on KT's side is just much louder on my side. So
Oh, let's hope that doesn't happen on the recorded version. Anyways, when we last left off, Shu passed his exam, maybe with not flying colors. I don't know, but they let him in. He shot the noisy cricket because deep down inside, he really just wants to be Will Smith. And he made this super long death cannon that looked phallic. And where do you think we are now, Deedo? You think they're off to do another dangerous mission somewhere?
of course, I mean that's what that they're all about, is dangerous missions and stuff like that. So, but they return. She returned to school, so it's on this train all the way back with the Inner trying to talk about what's it meant to be where they are, blah blah blah. And when he gets to school, everyone's looking at him like,
Whoa!
yeah, I know, because everyone knows the GHQ detained him. Now they're thinking he's like some kind of cyber criminal or a dangerous man and everything, blah blah blah. But then we end up encounter this other girl that just kind of says, "Don't judge people without knowing the facts and everything." And he just kind of like takes that and kind of walks off to class and everything.
She's like, we better
But
not embarrass him, Let's get the attention off him. Make him the cool guy, chill on the low.
or something like that. So she comes in and everyone's just kind of staring at him and just kind of says, "Let's, it's good to cooperate for the GHQ, blah blah blah." And then kind of like on the spot, he just comes up with this story like, apparently I found a cell phone and they wanted me questioned or something.
Or
So
something.
because of that, like all the students started to open up and ask him like, "Oh, is the GHQ actually full of homos and stuff like that?" I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
what?
Like
Who asked these
yeah,
questions in high school?
This shows you how I'm kind of worried about the kids of the future, because this is like the stuff you see them talking about on the internet, like in 4chan and on forum messages, where you get these wild ideas and then kids are starting to believe them, and I kind of worry for the future. But did you know that there's not a real Nyan
Nyan
cat?
cat's actually real and
Yeah.
going through the galaxy pooping rooms.
Yeah, I thought
Anyways.
that was so true, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, also, of course, in the Japanese world, it's not just a random person that's trying to help out Shu. She just happens to be the class president or the council president, student council president, and looking out for
Yes.
one of their own. Remind you of any other show we've been watching that has a student council president looking out for the other students?
Just about all of them.
I don't know. I think this is a pretty original idea.
But like, unlike our last episode, we kept on forgetting names. We actually have her name in the episode this time, so then everyone knows who we're talking about if they have not seen it or they feel like they should correct us at some point. Let's see if we can get this right. It's Kona. Oh wow, I just slaughtered it. Konitsa Arisa. So that would be our name, the name she's been given. And I
you
totally
call yourself an
botched that again.
otaku, Deedo? Didn't we just have this discussion? You call yourself an otaku because of this?
No, I don't. I don't call myself an otaku because of this.
I call
Because
myself a
I suck at names.
blubbering idiot.
I really do suck at names.
Uh,
Anyways, and as we mentioned last time, we would hopefully see Shu's mother, and surprisingly enough, boom, here she is in this episode. She
yeah.
actually comes in,
And
and
then you think she's like gonna be an old hag or something, but she walks in and is like bow chicka wow wow. And the funny thing is, I'm seriously waiting for somebody to make a AMV with scenes of Shu's mom and the Fountains of Wayne song where it goes, Stacy's mom has got it going on. I'm seriously
well,
waiting for an AMV like that.
the funny thing is too is like when I first saw her and everything, like Shu calls her by Haruko, which is apparently her first name,
Yeah,
and I thought it was like Shu's sister or something. I
I
mean, I
know.
really did think that, and then after like her mom going like, "Oh wow, I
Yeah.
feel dirty now."
He, oh, what were you thinking, huh? Shu's sister?
Yeah,
Eh,
eh?
eh, eh.
Yeah.
Are you the type of guy, Deedo, who's like, so, you got a sister?
No, maybe. Shh.
But yeah, so, um, I think there's a word that's been invented that would describe how Haruka dresses. Uh,
Scantily.
not scantily. I think it's two syllables or something. Victoria's Secret? No. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me later.
Maybe.
But yeah, which and then it makes me kind of wonder of her parenting skills if you think about it, because she doesn't come home for weeks, and then when she's home, she's half naked.
Yeah, she just lounging around the house in, her lingerie, and it seems like she like the one thing that really that struck me about her presentation toward Shu and everything is that it's like that mom trying to give you everything. It's like you had a very hard life, like a very hard day and everything, and it's just like, oh no, it's okay, it's okay. I just feel like she had that kind of attitude towards Shu, like
Yeah. And then the funny thing is, I was expecting. Remember in what was it, episode 2, when we talked about how, oh, I can't wait to see how Shu's mom freaks out when finds out Shu's living with the girl.
oh yeah,
And then, so, oh, she's like, sup? Let's get
yeah,
some
she's just kind of
pizza.
like, what do you want for dinner? Like, who's this? Oh, this is Inery, blah blah blah. It's just like, oh, what do you want for dinner? It was so casual.
Yeah.
But then we have a scene just before like Haruka walks into the door. We see a robot folding their clothes.
Oh,
What do you think about that, Casey?
I was like, cheater. I live in a world where I gotta fold my own clothes, and I don't got a robot that go. And the thing is, like, Inuri, she doesn't like fold. She just holds it up for the robot, and the robot does the rest of the work. I'm like, that's such a cheater. Oh, maybe I got robot envy. I don't know.
Yeah, you do have robot envy. So now we come across the so-called next mission of the resistance, and I found this to be actually kind of interesting. Apparently, there's another another so-called resistance organization that is for the Japanese
Well,
government. And they're
eh,
like, because the
yeah,
GHQ is taken over from the Japanese government and everything, it's held it in control. So there's this other group that wants to take it back, so to speak.
yeah,
Excuse me.
and then this just makes you realize, of course, the other organization has to be led by a white guy, and
Why old guy to get it right?
yeah, and then uh, his name just happens to be Don Eagleman, and he looks like a combination of the guy from Street Fighter and what's his face from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
Uh,
Armstrong.
yeah, like
But okay, so here's the best way to describe this. The Japanese have a really like stereotypical view on the Americans, and this Dan Eagleman pretty much sums up what they think of American people, especially soldiers.
yeah.
It was just I no, really, like when after they showed this and they started, I really did facepalm.
It's like
I just like
yes,
really,
like
but
he.
it was hilarious though because
Yeah.
his the mission or their they got tipped off, saying that there's
A mob
a
meeting or something.
yeah, there's like people like conspiring against the GHQ. So you would figure that if there's people conspiring against your organization, you would go try to reason with them or just like no, they want to take them out, and the most unique way possible. I can really say about this. What do you think is the most unique way possible taking someone out, KT?
Shooting them.
Yes, shooting them. But don't you think it's a little overkill to be shooting someone with surface-to-air missiles put on their side? So now they're just shooting just directly out to sea.
Well, when you're desperate, what else you gotta do? And then this is the most random thing about it is because what's the group name? Undertaker. I'm like, is it Outlaw or not Undertaker? Undertaker has like infiltrated this group, so see those like top three guys that I never know their names, but they're always around talking to a guy, and like the most I don't even know why they're there, to be honest. Because they don't really do anything during the whole entire episode other than sit there. That's- yeah, especially so what happens is like, well, we don't got any missiles that shoot sideways, but we have missiles that shoot up. So let's tilt those missile shooters sideways, and maybe they'll shoot sideways.
You would figure a group of the GHQ and everything would have the better equipment and the better arms. They do have like the more advanced weapons at their disposal. What brilliant person came up with surface-to-air missiles called Dragoons? You put on their side and fire them.
What kind of person loads like 3 gazillion of them on a boat?
Dan Eagleman does apparently.
Because we're
Oh, really?
American. Bigger is better.
Yeah,
He must be from
no,
Texas.
I don't mean to spend so much time on this. I'm talking about this, but this whole day Eagleman's bit right here made me laugh hysterically. I had to sit there and just stare at him for like 2 seconds, just like, really?
This episode brought to you by Stereotypes.
Quite, yeah. It was. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. So,
But no,
others,
more missiles.
oh, yeah, more missiles. We'll get to that in a bit. Actually, so this other group that is going against the GHQ is led by none other than the head of the Conan family, which the Conan family, sorry, that so happened to be the same family that our student body president, council, or whatever, Arisa happens to be a part of. So apparently, she's like the eldest daughter of this group too.
And, she's only in charge of doing the backroom deals.
Yeah, yeah. And when we find this, when we get into this, we find Guy and Shu infiltrated the party and took out a couple guys, took their suits and everything, left them butt naked in a closet because that's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is it always that trope? You go and you kidnap and you beat up the help, which probably was hired. So, like, they're not even in there. They're just like, oh, I got to go do my job and serve hors d'oeuvres tonight. It's always those guys that get kidnapped and then stripped down to their underwear and then, like, seriously.
Well, the funny thing is too is that they just happen to be the same size as a high school kid and
Some
Guy.
20-something dude.
I really don't know how to describe
Yeah.
guys. I don't even know how old he is.
I
But
know,
anyway.
there's like a huge height difference because you see those guys that they kidnap, they're like pretty tall, and one of them looks pretty fat too.
Anime, always doing the thing you least expect. Anyways, the whole point of this mission was just so that they can get the Conan or the Conan group to back the resistance, and because since they share the same ideals, they're just right now trying to negotiate. Anyways, when we get there, we find that Shu notices his mom up there talking to the head of the group, and if you knew about that too, because he knew that she was going to a party, but didn't realize it's the same party he's supposed to be infiltrating at. So you
In
can
her
see him
little
just, like,
red
kind of
skippy
panicking,
outfit,
kind of
too.
bolt.
right? She's in her little skimpy red outfit too.
Yeah, her skimpy red
You
outfit.
know, the one that you like, Deedo.
No, maybe.
I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying.
Noticed.
And you know, he bolts and is like, "Guy, you're on your own for this." And the funny thing is that Arisa, she actually sees Shu and she's like, "What?" And then of course, Guy just comes over like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, the guy plays on the charm and just kind of just sits there and just like, "Hey, pretty lady." And then it's funny too because he slightly insults her by saying, "You remind me of my pet armadillo," and she just kind
Yeah.
of tries to slap him and
And then he's like,
catches it.
"Cause that's what Guy does."
Anyways,
Um,
that was a little fun scene for about 2 seconds. Then we go back to Dan, who decides to
yes.
finally missiles.
Ah!
And it was funny though because the only way that once they find out like the dragoons are getting fired, the he gets in like she gets his a phone call about saying that they have targeted the boat. Get off the boat now! And he sees his mom and everything over there. And goes like, I
Mama.
can't do this. So they came up with like an idea, and so Guy just says like, "Oh, follow me." He tells Arisa to follow her. Goes out to the deck and everything to where he he sets him up to have Shu to get a void from her, which is apparently a giant flower.
Yeah, and like that's not inconspicuous at all, right?
No, 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 no.
No.
You would assume that this is on a boat, mind you. You know, a big luxury cruise liner. You know,
I'm
keep that
on
in
a
mind.
boat. I'm on a boat.
No, don't ever do that again.
I'm on a mother effing boat.
KGU follow.
I
Anyways,
just want to be on a boat.
so as the missiles get fired, her void apparently is like a shield. No, it's a giant flower-looking shield that will. I guess it just eliminates particles because a missile hits it
Well,
and just disappears and turns into
yeah.
like light. So it looks like fireworks.
So it like nullifies it, transfers the energy. Here, I'll try to make all my sciencey terms make it work. So the shield takes the energy from the impact of the explosion and transforms it to an electromagnetic spectrum array of a light that, yeah, that fills the night sky with different wavelengths of light and color and makes it look cool.
You're believable about 2 seconds there. Yes. Anyway, so after they find out like that one missile gets like, oh, Dan, the missile has disappeared.
What do you do?
Alrighty, fire
More
them all.
missiles!
Then it zooms out. I mean, it zooms the picture out and everything, and you see about four tiers of just like missiles, and then it just pans out even further. And there, I think I counted about 20 different launchers that each had probably 9 to 10 missiles on each one.
You see,
And
if the
it's like fire them all.
yeah, you see, if the Titanic had that, it wouldn't have sunk. That's what they should have done. Just line the deck with surface-to-air missiles.
Yeah, that's all you need. Because back to Titanic days, there was nothing in the air, anyways.
Yeah, you'll just aim it at the iceberg. I actually thought.
Just put it on the side.
The Titanic movie would have been a lot more interesting if that happened. Instead of I won't let go and doink.
Well, so as we watch Shu voiding out the missiles, so to speak. Ha, pun.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
He's just like I don't want to say hundreds, like dozens and dozens of missiles flying the boat, and he's just leaving the shield out there, taking it, brunting it, and then he gets blown back a couple times, and then he pans out back to Dan. He's like, "Why is no more missiles firing?" And like an idiot, you would expect him to say, "Because we're at a missile, sir." It's just like, wow. This character, Dan Eagleman, I hope he returns.
It's like, America, I love you.
Oh, really? I really hope this Dan Eagleman returns. He is like a character that I just want to laugh at.
Makes you love the red, white, and blue so much more, right?
Yeah, the greatest part is too. I think didn't he have like a flag belt, like an American flag belt
Yeah,
too?
like he had like the star on it, the old World War One stars that the soldiers used to have on their arms for patches. Oh, I loved it.
But anyways, here comes now. That's the end of that episode.
Oh no,
So
no,
here's
no!
our next
You
episode,
got
and guess what, guys?
you
Just like
forgot
you'd
one thing, Deedo. You forgot one thing. Like,
huh.
of course, at the end, uh, Arista wakes up and
Oh,
guy's like, "Sup," and then walks out. And
yeah.
and then
What
she's
is
like,
up with that? The guy's just sitting there waiting for her to wake up, and just like, sup.
yeah.
tells her a couple things and just walks off. It's just,
And then
yeah,
the
that's
one- the one, and then there's one thing that I don't know. They just put it in because they put it in was you actually see Inori waiting in the um Undertaker's base, and she's just wearing this little black costume piece for no apparent reason, because she's like miles away. And I'm like, really? You just put that in there because you wanted to.
yeah.
Served no purpose at all. But okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah, but
Um,
then our next episode is just
yeah,
it comes.
yeah.
It's
If having Haruka walk around the house scantily clad was not enough for you, guess what?
good
Beach
news for you,
time.
everybody. It is the beach episode. We all
Oh
expect it,
yeah.
and we all saw it coming.
Oh, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, really, really. It's funny because it goes from this serious thing where we actually learn some more about Shu and his mom to let's go to the beach, because that makes sense, right?
Of course,
100% sense.
after a long, hard mission, I'm gonna go to the beach.
But then we and then he takes his annoying friend with him too. The one who's like, YouTube star, I wanna be. Let's film
He's
everything.
like your, it's like your hyperactive friend on crack with a sugar rush with a camera.
Why did you just describe me?
Oh shit, did I? Oops.
This is a little
I have
bit
something to
awkward.
tell you, KT.
Do you have any Dr. Ginger with you?
I don't. We can't be
Oh.
best friends anymore, bud.
Dang it, Dr. Ginger.
So, I want Dr. Ginger for you. So, we have Shu that now brings his friends to the beach. He has, like, his childhood friend with him. Yeah, her.
It.
So, no, oh, sorry. It was everyone from their club, because they're all part of the visual club. And I just found it funny that they had to, like, Guy requested Shu to bring his annoying friend, Tadame Shota.
Sota.
And,
Sota.
huh?
Isn't that how you say it? Sota.
Sota. And apparently he has a void that was needed for a mission that just so happened to be in the area they're going to the beach to.
Mm.
And that's pretty much the whole episode with
yeah.
their, like, the actual plot of the episode. But we do have a couple little fun references for you,
Thanks
too.
for
So,
spoiling the whole episode, Deedo. It was such an original and creative idea. You had to just spoil it for everybody. Seriously?
yes, I had to because, no, I didn't. I just wanted to move on really quickly. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So, getting back to our little fun little references too. Anyone who has been an old school fan of anime or has seen a lot of the shows from back in the 80s, early 90s, they came across one called Orange Road. And for all those who don't know, and I'm just going to explain a little, there was the show starts out with a sun hat flying over a flight of stairs where a boy is climbing up of. Shota is taking pictures right next to this flight of stairs, and the same reference comes in. Sun hat comes in, he jumps up and catches it and gives it to the girl. So I just found this to be really funny, and I haven't seen something like that in quite some time. So that's just the
You
first thing
didn't
that popped in
mention
my
who the
head.
girl happened to be.
I was gonna let that for you.
Oh, well, I don't know her name. It's Rockin' Wheelie and her overzealous assistant. That's her name for now.
Wheelie and
Rockin' Willie.
the maid cat tech girl.
Yeah, and because in the other episodes, you're like, I don't like anybody helping me, and then like Sota just gives him the hat and walks off, and she's just like covering him, like, oh, is she embarrassed because somebody actually grabbed a hat for her? But no, she's embarrassed because the other girl's dressed up as a maid, and she's like, why in the world did you dress like that?
It just sounds like what two best friends would do, and just came across a guy like that and just like going, I can't believe you're dressed like this. Why?
Most random scene in the episode too, because it has nothing to do with anything else at all.
Yeah, this whole scene here has almost nothing to do with the entire episode at all. It was just hilarious to me. But there was something that did involve the storyline itself. Is this place that they are meeting up as just so happens to be the grave of Shu's father.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, story development.
And the funny thing is, so we don't really hear anything about it, and so we find out that he died, and what's even more interesting is we find out what his dad did. His dad was doing research on the apocalypse virus. So, apocalypse virus, it's a family business. um, that was an interesting way of doing it, and then you get this little talk from Guy there, and you're like, oh, they're gonna have a bonding moment right here where Guy tells him about his dad, and he's like, come over here. You see that? That's our mission.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, there's gonna have a little heart to heart. No, this is where we're going. This is where we're gonna infiltrate. So to infiltrate there, they need the void from Sota. So um, Shu's mission was to lure Shota out and to extract the void. To do this, he would have to use Inari because Shota is a big Inari fan.
Yeah, and just like, I hear or what's the group? Egotist, I think.
Yeah, Egotist.
Yeah, and so poor Inari used as bait, but this is what gets me about Inari. She knows she's getting used, and she just goes along with it. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'll sit on this bench right here. I'll wait for them. And then
Yeah.
Sota, he's like a really, really big Inori fan. And he's like, and then of course Shu's spying on him because he's like, I gotta lure him over there somehow. And then Sota's like literally right about to confess to Inori. And then Shu's like, da, 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 and then takes the void right then.
Yeah, and this is where the funny part too is because he mentions like Inari is my, and then just kind of cuts himself off, pulls up the void, and pretty much everyone from the resistance just kind of pops up and just like, what was that?
What are you gonna say? Huh? 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 What? And then Inari just oblivious. Da, 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 da. And they just walk off.
It just like giving him a little bit of crap, and then just like, all right, to the mission, and just literally pans over mission. Shota's void has the ability to. It's a camera, of course, if you would expect. It has the ability to open up anything it takes a picture of. So you can see why it's an essential part to this mission.
Because they can open up doors, and no security system is safe.
Oh.
And
you'd assume like a having a void like that, you'd have very interesting powers. I wonder what would happen if they took a picture of a human. Would they just kind of like explode?
I don't know. Maybe like see what he had for dinner and stuff. Or no. It'd be like in Gantz. The first time they used it. First time they do it.
Oh yeah, we can stop there because we start discussing Gantz. I think like a podcast would just ban us if we start talking about Gantz.
But it's Gantz. That could be our next 12-episode series, even though it's not 12 episodes.
We could have a Gantz. Or we could do the Gantz movies and discuss that for like an hour.
We can discuss the dubbed ones too. That's interesting.
Send all anime suggestions to Ktdata at Kita at ktdata.net. Anyway, 'cause I totally botched that again.
Ktdata did not train Deedo to say the email address. That's why you can't say Kita at ktdata.net. Email us today.
No, I can't. I've not trained myself. KT is a bad trainer. So,
Oh.
anyways, we get to
I'm not Herman
inside
Cain.
where he's like opening up doors left and right, taking pictures like a tourist. We assume
Pizza,
to do.
pizza! I take a pizza!
$5, take picture now.
Pizza!
And then we come across this other guy dressed as like a priest, so to speak, and gets called Kotsu.
Yeah, which is
And
yeah.
so this interesting guy apparently also shares the same name to his shoe as well.
Yeah. Dun,
So,
dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like, I think we can say this right now. This is probably one of the bigger spoilers I'm just going to put out there right now is Shu's father's not dead.
Oh. Actually, I don't know. I was
Dun, dun, dun.
the way I looked at it is like I think the guy knew Shu's father. But I don't know.
We'll soon find out.
or
I
did
mean,
I-
if that is actually Shu's father, because they never explain how he might have died or
Yeah.
what killed him, because they made a slight reference between the head of the other resistance and Shu's mom, and saying that there was a very tragic accident, a very bad but tragic accident, and they're making a lot of reference to trying to keep Shu alive, like what is it with Shu? And then you see the picture of that's the girl that's in his dreams too.
Yeah.
And this just so happens to resemble Inari.
Resembles my money that it's her. That's probably
Yeah,
that's
I'm
probably
having this. Like here's one of my little. I'm going to state this because I want to see if like anyone will try to correct me or not. But I'm having this really bad hunch that Inari is somehow related to Shu, and it's going to be really awkward.
I don't know. I like my hunch is that random guy, probably his uncle.
It seems like almost everyone in Shu's family must be some kind of researcher or something like that. And he's kind of the black sheep of the family that just doesn't know it.
Well, he's sort of in it. He's fighting against it.
Yeah,
But
or something.
And then, but that actually ends this episode, and I have to say, Guilty Crown's still keeping my interest. Is this the 24? No, C3 is the 24, right?
No, Guilty Crown's a 24. C3s are 12.
Okay, well, so Guilty Crown, I can't wait to see more, and I don't know. Anyways, speaking of C3, let's see if I can press this button and make myself go deaf somewhere. Stop! And the C3 segment is brought to you by hiking. Sometimes you just gotta climb the hill.
For all those who have not seen this episode or these two episodes yet, they're in for a treat on why we put that segment in.
Oh yeah.
But anyways,
Like I said,
last
watch
we
these
left off in
animes with
C3.
us. Like watch these animes with us, and you might wonder. You wonder why we have ads in this? Because you'll get them. Just watch the animes with us. It's a good time. It's a good time. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
Every segment is brought to you by something that also happens in the show. Last we left off, we had a crazy monkey-bladed axe woman get kicked into a house. Deer learns why maintenance is important, and Haraki finds a dog. Oh yes, and then the student body presence in the bondage.
Oh, maintenance. I love maintenance. Anyways, so at the end of the last episode, we found out that Kono-kun, I don't even remember her full name anymore, she got attacked by Sovereign, and she's collapsed. And we see Haruki, right? I'm confusing names again, even though it's written right here on the dock. I can't read. I'm sorry, guys.
Check the notes. Check the notes.
You mean that box that you're highlighting for me? Never. No. It is. But Haruki's, I don't
Yeah,
understand
right
this.
here, right
I don't understand. This has to be another trope that when somebody gets sick, you put a wet towel over their forehead. And that's exactly what Haruki was doing. And somehow Kono has her clothes changed because she was in her school uniform but she was in her school uniform outfit from the other part because you're at school, right? Yeah. But there's a reason why her nickname is Cow Tits, and it looks like that Fear may not have put the buttons on well enough because stuff happens and Haruki is running for the hills, so to speak.
Innuendo pun, gotta love it.
Yeah, and the weirdest thing is that Kono, she comes back around and she's like, Haruki, and then she's like, can you do me a favor? And this is about the time I face palmed, and I just... And you can figure out what the rest is.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, we just I just figured that putting your hand on someone's boobs apparently makes them want to fall asleep. And about this time is when I just he starts to get all blush, flustered, and everything, and you see the redness in the head. Your stereotypical anime boy who gets to feel the hills. But the thing that made me laugh the loudest is that when his mouth is open, it started glowing. And for all you internet fans out there, the first thing that came to my mind and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have thought this too, it was I'm a fawn, my lasers. And that's the first thing that popped in my head when I saw that.
Oh man. But yeah, it's I don't know. This show just it's like the girl it's like they're playing around with you because the last episode, that was a pretty dark episode that was before this, and then all of a sudden it comes to this and Kono's feeling a little bit better, so Haruki decides to go grocery shopping. And then Fear, and he's like, well, you want to tag along, Fear? And she's like, but I suck and I didn't keep Kono from getting... You should come with us. And I like how they totally forgot about the whole detective theme that they were going.
I found the best way. If you were trying to get Fear to join up with you on anything, on any kind of adventure skirmish, whatever, offer her rice crackers. It's like her crack.
Crack cocaine. And yeah, so they go to the market and he just shows them this giant shelf of rice crackers, and she's like, ooh. It's like me and bacon. If you ever need to bribe me, just bring bacon. I'm like, bacon, bacon.
I got some bacon bits. That's all I got.
Bacon, still bacon.
Bacon is bacon, and this whole scene right here really isn't that important, so to speak, but it made me just kind of chuckle a little because she has...
Well, let's be honest about this, Deedo. This whole episode is really not that important.
True. This whole episode really has no significant value to the storyline whatsoever, but it's still funny. I mean,
but yeah, literally nothing happens in this episode. I'm not gonna lie, and it's to follow along with our theme in Guilty Crown. It's 100% fan service, and that's I pretty much messaged Deedo. It's like, did you notice that both Guilty Crown and C3 was pretty much all fan service? Or am I just seeing things?
Yeah, it pretty much is. Pretty much all the shows they were watching, aside from Shauna, was... Even Shauna actually had some too.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, it was
we'll get to that.
This whole segment right now is just about fan service, and I find that to be hilarious because I've never went through shows where they had it all within the same episodes.
Yeah, and we didn't plan this; it just happened by itself. So I don't know.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? But as we,
But so again, on to the next nothing episode. Unio decides to come. You know, girl in bondage. Yeah, 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 yeah.
eh, eh?
Um, she comes to visit again. Oh, I can. What are we at now? A love square?
Well,
No.
okay. So with Fear, we have Konoha, we have Unyo. Then yeah, there's those three. So it's a triangle right now.
No, you gotta add Haruki into there because they're not in love with each other.
True. Well, there's a little triangle around Haruki,
Okay, all right.
and that's all for
For
now.
now, and then see, we don't even see the crazy lady in this episode either.
That's true. We
I
haven't.
was really hoping she'd come back. Why not? So yeah, she comes visits, and
And
then they go back to trying to solve the mystery of finding Sovereign, and the school nurse. This is what really got me about this, because the school nurse is like, I'm so bored, and I'm like, didn't you just barely get over a random rash of student attacks? Why are you bored?
not just that, she's also tired too. It seems like as soon as they walk in, she like names all three of them off, and it's just like after naming, I'm tired and wants to go to sleep. It's like, wow,
It's like, what kind of nurse is that?
yeah.
And they ask for her students' files, and she's like, over there.
This what made me laugh too. I mean, I know it's an anime and everything, but
And
if you're this character is obviously like very
laid back.
laid back, very very laid back, and just doesn't care. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I don't care about my student security, about privacy or anything like that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
just,
just have
everything's
fun.
alphabetical order.
Go at it. Go at it. Go at it. And so they finally go to Sovereign's house. Well, first they look at the file, and of course, all files have a mugshot in them because that's how files work. And they discover one thing: the picture doesn't match who they think is the girl's name that I don't remember, even though it's written right here. Shiro's. They don't
Shiro,
match. Yeah.
Shiro. Yeah,
Cheerio.
I'll just Cheerio.
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 Yeah, chip cheer and all that, right? Anyways, so they find like once they find out that the picture doesn't match the actual Cheerios in the mugshot, they just kind of like bolt out of there and start explaining what they're trying to do as Fear gets stuck behind the gate, stuck behind the subway gate, and Haraki gets carried like a princess.
Spider-Man
It's like
style.
it's so
Love it, yeah.
it's like so unrelated to anything and just so subtle that it makes
Yeah.
it deserves to be commented on.
They just this anime is so random sometimes. I'm like, really? Then back to seriousness. they
Yeah.
they go over there and they find Sovereign trying to kill Cheerio. And Fear and Haruki, or not Haruki, and Konoha managed to, or not Unio.
Unio.
If I just keep naming off these characters, I'll eventually get all of them that were in the scene, right?
At this point itself, KT is just like anyone's mother who has more than like 3 kids and just name them off in order.
Didn't I tell you I'm gonna name my kids 1, 2, and 3 so I can keep track of them well?
1, check. 2, check. 3, check.
If we go over 10, I'm gonna be in trouble because I can't count that high.
It's like I only got this many fingers.
But yeah, so they managed to save her, and the thing is that she's like, "Why in the world did you save me, huh? Huh?" And then we find out. This is what I didn't. To be honest, this is what I kind of didn't like, because they took so long with this story that they kind of like just compressed the resolution all into one, like 10-minute block. To be honest, and so we finally learned the history of Sovereign and Shiro. Wow, Cheerio. Cheerio. Yeah, Cheerio. I'll call her Cheerio because that's as close as I'm gonna
Cheerio.
get.
Anyways, that sovereignty and probably just call it sovereign too because it's just a long word I don't want to say and it's late at night. Uh,
It's only
is
9:30.
is apparently a doll that has been cursed to
Literally
not
love their owner to death.
it's a cursed doll to love. Whenever you fall in love with this doll and do what's called the final embrace, when you hug it,
Giggity.
you get it. Yeah, you get it. Not the good way either.
Yeah, it's and collapse.
Yeah. And for those who are kind of not following us right now, what this doll does is pull blades out of his body.
Yeah, like his well, it's an androgynous doll, so it can be a boy or a girl. He, she, it. When you hug it, it literally turns into this blade. Blades just go everywhere you can think of, including the chest, where it's like a fatal knife blow. That'd be kind of
Really big knife, mind you.
shoot. This would make such a good like video game character. Finishing move.
Finish him.
Yeah. But yeah, so we find out this whole reason why we're going through this is because they're in love with each other.
Yeah, it's like she didn't want to admit to it. Like she figured that if I don't admit to my love to this doll, that the curse won't take effect. And apparently, Shirano is not very surprised about curses either. That's just the weird thing too. But at this point, the sovereign runs away from them all after stabbing Uno in the chest with a hand blade of doom. And of course, she's just like, "Oh, don't worry, I can't die." And you're just sitting there going, like,
This is gonna get old fast.
"This is gonna get old." Yeah, she keeps on taking she's the tank. She's like an MMO or RPG. She's the tank, just taking all the grunt damage because she can't die. I'm gonna be done with this one soon. So they come up with a plan trying to get Sovereign back and try to, they're saying like, "Oh, don't kill Sovereign," and they're all like, "Oh, we'll do our best." And then out of nowhere, like all three of the girls just go absolutely
Yes.
nuts.
Like Fear gets that look that you saw in the first episode when she saw blood. Kono, she actually like unsheaths herself, which is kind of that's nuts in itself. And Unio, she's just like Spider-Man. No, Spider Monkey, I miss you.
What I found to be interesting too is because Kono like uses Haraki is to take Shirino hostage,
Yeah,
and that's what I found to be like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?"
I know. And then like apparently she takes control of Haraki for a good portion of it too, because he's like can't let go or anything, and she's doing the driving, which was kind of
Yeah.
I apparently she has that power. I didn't know, but I guess that's the power.
I thought she was just a cursed blade and everything, so it makes sense now because her last name is Musamane, Musamane. So it made a little sense on there saying that a cursed blade that can, the wielder is going to be under a supreme samurai or wow, there's that sound again.
The sound of death.
Yeah, it just overwhelms my speakers in my head. But I just found that whole thing to be very, very interesting on how they just go nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like this is probably my second favorite battle. My first favorite battle was the second battle Fear had with PV, and where it's just going berserk. That was awesome. That was awesome. But this is my second favorite battle so far we've seen in the show. And to be honest, I thought this resolution was kind of lame. They managed to piss off Sovereign, so all the blades come out and everything, and then they have Kona just like swipe off all the blades, and apparently that fixes everything.
Yeah, so now it's a cursed doll that is meant to fall in love, but now it can because now it doesn't have blades in its body. That's like the whole purpose was like it had Fear pull out this torture chamber thing that's just like
Yeah, that was like gonna rip
bounds
her apart.
Sovereign up, and just blades are popping out everywhere. And there's like, is that it? Is that it? Is that it? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that one we talked about, through the chest, just ping. And it's like, whoa.
Um, and then they just cut them all off, and she just happens to be better, which I'm like, oh. But then of course, I don't. This show, such a tease. You think there's gonna be some crazy resolution or not? They end up in the superintendent's office again.
The superintendent, I don't know what the hell to think of him, honestly.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about the assistant superintendent either. Oh dear. And I have to give it to him. It's like, there's something wrong with the assistant superintendent. She likes cute things, but it doesn't suit her at all because she's the like super serious one, and she has all these like random cute things. And lo and behold, sovereignty's all dressed up.
Yeah, I need to backtrack a little because I want to make this comment too about the battle of between Fear and all them is the Mokujin army.
Yes.
I just have to mention this because since it's a doll, it's like they're supposed to be the creator of the perfect doll and can be and all be all of the image of dolling. After they just started like summoning up, it's just like going, okay, blah blah blah. There's wooden dolls. I never thought of anything. But they are Mokujin. I don't care. Anyone says they are Mokujin. I played enough Tekken to know that. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm like, really, the trees are gonna come up. What are the trees gonna do? Like, one of them has a sword. Swords cut through trees.
Yeah. I just have to mention that because that was slightly. I was cheering the Mokujins on. I was actually coming like, come on, come on.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like when we move on, then they get to their non-serious part of the episode because they do that. They want to get
And guess what it is?
Fear into what would you say, a dance cheerleader club essentially?
Yeah, they some of their students or some of their classmates convinced Fear to join in, I guess, with like a cheerleading event or something.
Yeah.
Because like, just like you would assume when Guilty Crown, when they did the beach episode, guess what, guys? It is the school festival now.
Oh yeah. And then the funny thing is, like, we practice tomorrow, and she pulls out a cassette tape.
I don't know where either. I'd assume that there's like pockets on them or something.
But yeah, it's a cassette tape. It's the year 2011. I don't even know where to buy a cassette tape anymore.
I don't think anyone has any means to record on those anymore.
I don't know. That was bizarre to me. I'm not even gonna lie. That was very, very bizarre for me. And
the funny thing is too that didn't even phase me when they pulled the cassette tape. That didn't even phase me until you mentioned it now. It's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed it in Shauna too, but we'll get to that when we get there. But and then out of this, right before the credits roll, Fear and Haruki have a discussion with each other, but it's in the most random place too. It's in front of the restrooms. Like, I'm not even lying. They cut to the scene, and you're looking through the windows, and you see Fear and Haruki talking to each other between the windows and everything. And right behind them, there's these giant girls and boys sign on the door. And that, like, out of all the scenes you can pick to have a discussion like that, in front of the bathrooms. That made no sense.
That's like they pick the most odd places to, just have a heart to heart. I mean, if I was having a heart to heart with myself, I would choose a better place than the bathrooms, like in front of the bathrooms.
I know. I was like, really? Why? This made no sense. And then, of course, they do another zinger because, like, it's not consistent on how C3 does this. Is like some episodes they'll have something after the credits, some don't, and I expected nothing after these credits. I'm like, oh, story's resolved, and then you see this discussion between Sovereignty and Fear about, do I have it? And then our our love square triangle, however you want to count it, intensifies. And then the end.
Yeah, but then there's still things we must add into just because, like Fear doing random stuff itself, they have, I'm going to be stating as the sticky maid.
Oh,
I'm just stating it that. If you're watching the show, you know exactly what I mean at this point.
fan
And then,
service.
yeah, because after they beat Sovereignty and everything, she had one of those induced discs that Fear got. So
Indulgence
she's
disc.
got 2 of those now, and I'm surprised they didn't actually end the episode with her trying to, get that disc inside her again. Because maintenance is important.
Yes, maintenance is very important. I can't believe you just called it an induced disc, though. You're the one who wrote that, and you called it induced disc when it's indulgence disc.
Indulgent disc, sorry.
You're
Thank
the one
you,
who
Katie, for correcting my stupidity.
You're the one. You're the one who wrote that too. So. And
I write it. I don't read it. No.
I loved how they snuck it in too, because like it's just like an after. Oh yeah, this popped out. My question is where it popped out. I don't want to know, but yeah.
If it's anything like those blades.
Dude. And well, and then I was like, and then Fear's like, "Do I have it?" And yeah, watch that scene. That's yeah. Anyways, let's go on to our next show because we got a lot to talk about this, and we're already like an hour in. And this section is brought to you by the same people who write storylines. Go ahead, Deedo.
We never have this stuff written out best way for each other. Because, yeah, we already botched it.
Yeah, anyways. Well, this whole 2 episodes, I was all excited. Ooh, fan service, fan service, fan service, fan service, fan service. Oh crap, character development.
Yeah, so these next 2 episodes quite literally is nothing but story development.
Yeah. When we last left off, Shauna, she's still stuck in the castle. Cause that's exciting. Yuji gets the thing, and I don't even know what to call it.
The thing.
Yeah, the thing. Carmel still wearing the same maid outfit. Sato finally meets the female Mustang and gets showered twice, locked in a room multiple times, and war is on the horizon. Dun dun dun.
Yes, which is funny too about these episodes is because when I was watching it, I was watching episode 7. We're on 7 and 8, aren't we?
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
yes.
7 I was watching through the regular fan group that I usually try to follow, and when 8 came out, they didn't actually have it, so I had to go through and watch it through Kami, and yeah, they don't. Honestly, it's like if you guys watch through Kami and you enjoy it, I'm not gonna say anything about it, but they translate things completely off. They translate almost like literally word, like translated from word to word. I mean,
it's no bueno. No bueno.
Yeah, they do it. They do a direct translation, and a lot of it doesn't carry over. Is the problem I'm seeing on that?
Yeah. But the one thing was that at the end of the episode 6, Hecate, or however you say her name, was
Hecate.
Hecate. There we go. Hecate pretty much was tearing up the room that Shauna was in, and I was excited. I'm like, ooh, interesting battle, and again, Shauna gets tossed around like a rag doll essentially, and a pillow saves her. A pillow. That was kind of stupid.
Somehow a pillow can ward off a flame attack from one of the 3 generals, like one of the 3 top generals in the whole Balmos, and a pillow stops her attack.
Yeah. I was like, oh, seriously?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this, but the whole like we can pretty much sum up this whole for like whole episode 7 by they were talking about the God Gate, which essentially is where the leader of the ball mask, the serpent, this just call him the serpent dude because he has a long name. I'd rather not say it all. Where his original body is, that he's using Yuji as a medium to
Yeah.
get to that body again.
And it's essentially just a hole in the sky. I was expecting a little bit more extravagant, but no, it's the God Gate's a hole in the sky.
Yeah, just boom, there it is.
Like no one's gonna notice
Uh,
that, right?
yeah, but as the story keeps on going, we find out that they're seeing both sides kind of planning their strategies on how they're going to fight each other. You see some of the actual fighting going on between a lot of the ball mask and the outlaws from across the world. How you're seeing all the flame hazes trying to strategize, trying to fend off all the attacks from the other groups. So, in a nutshell, we're seeing a lot of the stuff that we'll find important for the story, but
Yeah.
really has no significant value to go in much detail in, because I would rather encourage people to watch these and then having us explain it.
Yeah. But oh man, such a. So we also learn why they keep Shauna around, because they know if they kill her, the other dude's just gonna go find another partner to try and ruin it. So they're just keeping her hostage, so he can't do anything. And that's pretty much all the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all episode 7 really
Yeah,
was.
yeah. The only thing other than that caught me was at the end of the episode. Oh dear God, this is poor choice of translation words. But the version I watched, they said Yuji was going all the way, going all the way. Eh,
Which group did you watch that through?
SS Eclipse.
Oh,
He literally said that to Shauna. I'm going all the way. And I'm like, oh. Poor choice of words. Anyways, let's go to episode 8. That's at least more interesting than episode 7 was.
yeah.
I'm not even lying. Episode
Mostly,
7 is one of those episodes that it's important to watch, but it's so boring. Kind of like our show. But episode 8.
exactly. Episode 8, the whole episode really is confining around Kushida learning about the pendant that was given by Fellas back in the second season, and what the whole purpose of it is, and if she can actually still watch it or still use it. Carmel goes into the old ruins of where she used to live, where training Shauna, and pulls it out
Yeah.
of the water.
I know, 30 minutes
Dun, dun, dun.
underwater, which was kind of nuts too. She was underwater for 30 whole minutes, which is kind of crazy because you don't even like see her breathing or any air bubbles whatsoever at all, which was kind of
She lived
nuts.
for a few hundred years. She probably learned how to hold her breath for a long time. That's what I
I
assume.
don't know. So yeah, and so we start seeing everything, and then she like totally just gets the old home up, which is kind of crazy, and she doesn't even have to try, which is nuts, and shows you how powerful she actually truly is. And this is the fun part because we see Rebecca, the female version of General Mustang
My
from
Mustang.
Full Metal Alchemist. She gets wet this time, but she didn't blow anything up.
I think it's going to be like an ongoing thing that she's going to get showered on in every episode.
But no fan service. She just gets soaked. That's
Actually,
a
there
funny
was
thing.
in the intros between the two like commercial segments and everything. When it comes back in, it shows like Carmel like trying to wring out Rebecca's clothing and everything, and he's like, that's like the most fan service I saw there. So I just found that to be like, oh well, there it is.
They're like, oh, Deedo and KT is gonna be watching this, so might as well put that in, right?
Yeah, they thought of us.
Yeah. And then Ball Mask, they just go all out on this at the battle. This is actually when the episode actually starts picking up. Is that at the beginning you see them attacking Tokyo right there, and there's just hundreds and thousands of them all just bombarding Tokyo, and you think that's probably their whole entire ball mask army. And but no, you find out it cuts to all the different headquarters where Outlaw. I almost called him Undertaker again. Outlaw's headquarters are, and like all of them are just getting hammered, and you're like, where in the world are all these guys coming from? But I don't know. And then of course none of the generals are there because they're all with Yuji going through the God Gate.
Which the God Gate. I just want to put a little synopsis on this God Gate. It reminds me of like walking through the seasons and then disappearing behind you. I mean that all it is like a set path you're seeing going spiraling around, and it's like there's you'll just go through like the summer of it, so it's like a bridge. Go through the winter of it, it's just ice. You go through. No, it's just I'm just watching this, and they're just kind of like going through this nonchalantly, not even thinking about it. So
Yeah, it like literally looks like it looked like a board game to me when I first saw it. I'm like,
yeah,
where do you roll the die?
but after that we come back into seeing now there is the Rebecca and the old man. I'm going to call them because that's what they refer him as. Is like one of the older of the flame hazes,
Deedo didn't
and
write the
that's
guy's
his.
name down on the dock. That's why.
They must not know that. But they are trying to infiltrate the castle or where Shauna is being held, so because they're trying to rescue Shauna now. And you would assume, and this is just like so fitting for her, for the Rebecca character, is they come across two of like the guards in the underground tunnels, and it's just kind of like she just looks at them and they're just staring at each other. She's like, "Hello," and then goodbye, and just first thing blows them up. I mean,
Decimates him.
yeah, blow them, ask questions later. I mean, I don't want to be in that vicinity fighting against Rebecca. It's just seeing them going, "Hi, hi, goodbye, oh crap."
Yeah. Like seriously, watch this episode because the second half of it just gets you pumped. I'm actually excited to go watch episode 9, and I kind of want to do it right after we finish the show because it's really good. But this is finally the final battle is about to start, and Sean. Okay, so let me get in my soapbox right now. This is a 12 episode series, right? I'm pretty sure the last 4 to 6 episodes, Shauna's been stuck in a tower. She like literally hasn't done anything, and it's really disappointing considering the show is called Shakugan no Shana. And like,
Yeah, I just find this like the whole thing. I find Shauna's character in this third season to be very emo-ish. I mean,
yeah, you
she's not
kind of
really
hate her.
doing anything.
You really kind of hate her.
It's. I mean, I understand like the whole purpose of like putting her in this position and all that, but
They've dragged it out for so long. 'Cause
yeah,
they know this is they know this is the last Shauna series they're gonna make, and they know they only have a set number of episodes. And next thing you know, we're gonna get Shakugan no Shauna Final 2 for some reason, because they
they'll
didn't.
probably do like a movie or an OAP to finish it up. But
Yeah,
I will find out soon because we still have two more Kita episodes before the season ends.
but I hate Shauna right now. I'm not even gonna lie. She's the least interesting character so far we've seen this season. I have to say,
I find Sato to be more interesting.
and that's
Just
bad.
because I don't know why I'm finding him a little more interesting because he seems like he's trying to do stuff. He might actually become a. Nah, he won't become an important character, but
More entertaining, at least.
yeah.
But that's my biggest gripe about this, because out of all the animes we came in, I was really excited about this one because I'm like, oh, they go out with a bang. They don't have to do all the normal stuff you'd see in an anime because they've got a well-established fan base and everything. But nope, Shauna's stuck in a castle, can't do anything. I mean, it seriously like it kind of makes the first 2 episodes in the series not even matter where she was like training and stuff. Cause now he's like, I'm stuck in my tower. I can't do anything.
Yeah, but finally she's starting. Like now that the the battle.
The series is almost
gonna,
over.
Yeah. Now the series is almost over. They have to stay. Oh, okay, let's get into fighting. So hopefully, with on our next show, we'll actually have a lot more interesting things to talk about for Shauna.
Yeah, hopefully I'll turn around. I hope so. But guess what, Deedo? That's all we got, man. That's a show right there.
No, there must be more to talk about. We must extend for 2 hours. No, it's not.
Well, it would help if you guys sent us email at kita@ktdata.net. We could read it. I showed Deedo the sound drop that I want to play for it. I just need somebody to send an email. Any email. You could say you suck, and I might be tempted to read it just because I want to play the sound drop. Please? And, we do it every 2 weeks. So December 20th, hopefully, December 20th.
Yeah.
Will be our next episode, and of course we do it live. We did it a little bit later today because I had to run some errands because I suck. Okay, I'm sorry, I suck. But next time we should be at Tuesday, and you can always see us at ktdata.net/live. Deedo, those spy glasses. You're probably gonna end up writing a review, right?
Yeah, I'll be throwing up a review for this Spynet glasses, recording goggles, recording night vision goggles. Sorry,
you'll have to
probably in the next little while once I actually get a chance to do some recording footage on it.
Yeah, you got to put some footage up. I'd love to see what that looks like. I'm excited for that. For Deedo's review of all that and more, and hopefully Geeks Day 2 will get put up sometime between now and the next episode. Check out ktdata.net for all that. Deedo, thanks for working around my crazy schedule.
That's okay.
You're probably
have to work around mine next.
Yeah, you're as busy as I am. Thank you. I love it. To be honest, I just love sitting here talking to you for a lot of that. For anybody who watches, including the 20+ people who watch us on YouTube, I love you. I really do, deep down inside, because I don't know how you can sit through an hour and a half of listening to me talk. But you're awesome. To you guys on the podcast, I don't have numbers, but you guys rock too. We're actually on Stitcher Radio now, so you can get us through iTunes, you can get us through Zune, I think, and you can get us through Stitcher. And Stitcher is probably the coolest app out of all of them. So make sure you guys go check that out. You can stream it, so you don't have to download all this stuff. Worry about software enough. You just go to Stitcher, type it. You can actually even type in anime, and we pop up on there, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. I think that's all. Do we got anything else, Deedo?
I have nothing.
So, thank you guys again for watching. See you next time. Comment, leave us feedback, let us know. And we'll see you all later. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
The record button on video has been pressed.
The door's ajar. A door's ajar. A door's ajar.
All right. Here we go. If I can press this play button.
No, you can't. Never can.